Hey there, Mrs. Tudor, Carol Fry Tudor here, RN, trying to shed some light on physical problems. And I'm not going to say hi to too many people tonight because I really want to stay focused. And I'm going to pray and I'm going to get started right away. Father, I pray you'd give me your mind, help me to stay focused, help me to be clear. And Lord, I know I'm speaking to a wide variety of people, and I ask, Lord, that you'd give us wisdom. Help us to take care of our temples. In Jesus' name, amen. I would like to draw your attention to two verses. 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20. What? Know you not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which you have of God, and you are not your own. You're bought with a price, therefore glorify God in your body and in your soul, spirit. Not quoted exactly, but those verses are real important. You know, if I went over to the church today and dumped a big pile of trash in the church, my Pastor Grandy would not be happy with me. He just wouldn't. And but who lives at the church? Where does Jesus live? Where does the Holy Spirit live? He lives in us. And isn't it sad? We feed Jesus trash. Now, a lot of it's from lack of knowledge, and I'm not one of these. I don't like to guilt people into anything, and I sure don't want you to feel bad, because I trashed my body the first 45 years of my life. I did not know any better. Remember my beginning series. In fact, if you haven't listened to them, I'm going to build on each week. I'm going to build on what we talked about. And there's two principles that are very important for allergy and asthma. One is we have a marvelous self-healing body. God, when we cut ourselves, unless it's deep, and even then I know how to put butterflies on. I've never had to go to the ER with anything like that, thank the Lord. But our body heals. I've got a little cut here, and I just about cut the tip off. It's still a little numb, but I knew what to do. But within about a week, it was totally healed. Because we have a self-healing body, number one. Number two, you are what you fill in the blank. Eat, sleep, breathe, exercise. You are what you fill in the blank. Those two principles have to be really ground into what we're doing. And so the issue is, because we are a living cell body, we need living food, meaning fruits, vegetables, salads, veggies, nuts. There's a lot of seeds out there that people completely ignore. There's hemp seeds, which are very good. I put those in my goat yogurt. There's poppy seeds. There's sunflower seeds. There's pumpkin seeds. By the way, pumpkin seeds are excellent to fight parasites. So you've got a lot of seeds out there that can be used that we sort of neglect. So nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables, a lot of living food. So what happens is, and the principle is this, if we give our body the foods that it's designed for, then our immune system will be healthy and it'll fight things off. But unfortunately, our food has been very damaged. A lot of our meat has been injected with hormones. And one of the things I want to say is there is no sin in eating any food. If you recall from the New Testament, Timothy says it's okay to eat meat. It's I'm going to talk about cancer therapy on here and someday eventually. And people think just eating, their definition of healthy is many different things. People think if they just have a standard meal like they used to, a piece of chicken, some rice, green beans, and a salad, that's healthy. Well, if it's all cooked, it's not living. And living food is what we really need a lot of. In fact, when you have cancer and you want to be cured by natural means, you have to eat a lot of raw food. Like when I had cancer, I had one cooked meal a week, and it was on Saturday night. And I eat raw foods all week long because I wanted my living cells to fight off cancer. So the principle with any disease and with any problem is we want to increase our immune system. We want to build our immune system up. Remember the difference between wellness medicine and conventional medicine is they basically just want to deal with sickness. When you walk in and you say, I've got a sore throat, they want to give you an antibiotic and maybe a antihistamine and send you home. Instead, what we want to do is build up our immune system so our immune system will begin fighting the problems that we have. So it's very important that you realize those two things. If you're chronically ill, I want to encourage you to find a wellness doctor. If you've got a disease like lupus or MS or heart disease or cancer, or you're recovering from a heart operation, or you're recovering from your first episode with cancer, cancer's not, you don't just cut it out. Now, yes, sometimes you do. Let's say, for example, you had a bowel obstruction. You definitely got to get that operated on and get the bowel obstruction cleared up. But there's a choice. After you find out what's wrong with you, you have a choice to diverge. There was a famous poem, Robert Frost, there, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and why took the one that made all the difference? Well, I'm going to choose to get a diagnosis, and I'm going to go the wellness way rather than the traditional medicine way. And so if you're chronically ill, I want to encourage you to find an integrative doctor, a chiropractor / nutritionist. They're called functional medical doctors, integrative doctor, a DO, doctor of osteopathy. Those are the types of doctors that will help you build up your immune system. So the problem with asthma and allergies is an immune system problem. And allergies occur because our immune system is irritated, it's agitated, it's frustrated. And because we've fed our bodies a lot of wrong foods, standard American diet is SAD, S-A-D, because we've fed our bodies a lot of wrong foods, well then our immune system reacts, it's going to respond to things. Now there's different kinds of allergies. There's chemical allergies, okay, where people have been exposed to chemicals. There's seasonal allergies, which is like right now, a lot of people with the blooms on the trees are really having the runny nose and the itching and the sneezing and all of that. And so those allergies, and then you've got food allergies. So you've got three kinds of allergies. But all of it stems from an immune system that's overactivated and upset because we put the wrong things in. Now, I want to go back to the condition of our food. Back years ago, probably now 100 years ago, back when my grandparents were around, we didn't have all the pesticides. We didn't have McDonald's. We didn't have Roundup and Monsanto and all these different chemicals that have hurt our foods. I grew up with some crop dusting, but my mom and dad didn't. Well, so we had years ago where we had people that had food that wasn't damaged. So there's nothing wrong with a certain type of food if it's clean. Clean meaning no pesticides, no hormones, no chemicals. And so I don't want anybody to go off here and say, oh, Mrs. Tudor doesn't believe in eating meat, or Mrs. Tudor this, and I'm not really wanting a page where I can have all your opinions. I stay reading. This is one of the problems with doctors. They're all too busy to read the latest studies that are out on these drugs, and there are so many drugs and so many dangers with the drugs, and the doctors don't know them. The doctors don't have time to teach you. Sadly, because the system is broken, they have to do a lot of paperwork. They have to stay on schedule. They're only allowed to see so many patients, and take so long with each patient, and so they have no time to teach you. So my job, I'm going to help you interpret. One of these times, I'm going to do nothing but help you know why the medical system is so complex, what has happened to it, because it'll help you wade through it. Now, I am taking some appointments by private messenger. You can PM me. And people are giving me a love offering, and I'm getting ready to set up a PayPal account, and it's strictly a love offering situation where I'm helping a person know, I'm interpreting what's wrong, giving them some ideas, but letting them make their own decisions. And it's your job to take care of your temple, okay? Dr. Streeter used to say, Carol, I told him, I said, I've been eating right and drinking right and doing all this. I go, how come I'm not losing as much weight as I want? He goes, Carol, your body holds a grudge. I ate like a teenager till I was 45. And when I did eat like that, I damaged my body. I also took drugs, and drugs have a permanent damaging effect. See, we might take a drug, let's take vaccinations, immunization drug. We take a drug for this one current problem right now. Like I'm going to take an antibiotic to kill this infection. But along with that, there are components in the antibiotic that damage your body like almost permanently. I think I mentioned last time, I want to use the example of Zantac. Zantac got pulled off of all our drugstores, our Walmarts, because they've now discovered it caused cancer. Well, why didn't they discover it before they put it on the market? How many hundreds of my patients have taken Zantac for stomach problems? So the chances of you getting another secondary problem from taking the drug are very high. So at 45, I had an epiphany, and I started in on eating lots and lots of vegetables. And by the way, I have the reason I have a lot of knowledge, I'm now going to be 70. I've been doing this for 25 years. I did not know what I know now when I was 45. I did not know what I know now when I was 50. In fact, since coming to Missouri, I found out some things about my body no one ever told me. I came down to Missouri and got diagnosed by having a brand new test, it's not actually brand new, it's new to me, but I had a test that revealed that I had some parasites and stage 3 Lyme disease. And so I can't stress enough that these problems I'm going to discuss, they all have to do with what you're giving your body. Now, we need sun, we need air, we need exercise. In fact, according to what I read, exercise is almost as important, if not more important, than what you eat. Because if you're moving your body, you're going to get a lot of circulation, you're going to get extra oxygen, so you are what you just fill in the blank. Eat, sleep, drink, breathe, whatever. So I want to encourage you, I'm not the fountain of all knowledge. I can't necessarily diagnose you. And I definitely don't want you to put anything about yourself on my Facebook page. I don't think that's good. I don't think you should air your symptoms there. But I was able to help somebody last week from last week's video. I was able to interview her. I took her medical history, and that's why it takes a little time. Anybody who tells you to take a vitamin and doesn't know your medical history, not good. So what I do is I find out what the problems are. I take a medical history. I ask a lot of questions. And then I give some possible ideas / solution / type of doctor the person might want to go to. Let's talk a little bit about allergies. One of the most important things you need to do is eliminate sugar and dairy. Most people react to, now I'm not having any allergies, and we have all our trees on the ranch are blooming. We've got pollen everywhere. We got grasses. The grass is gorgeous. We got grasses. It's just everywhere. And so, but now let me tell you, if I went and had a milkshake, I would be sick the next day. Our pasteurized milk has things in it that cause a lot of mucus. And so with your allergies of any kind and your asthma, you want to get rid of pasteurized dairy. Now, whether you can handle milk straight from a cow, I don't know. I do use butter, churned butter from the Amish that's non-pasteurized, and it is delicious. And I have no problem, my body can handle it because it's not pasteurized. Pasteurized is not pasteurized, haha, that's for Richard Tudor who likes corn. Pasteurized means it's been, all the living enzymes have been taken out so that the milk can go in a carton and sit on the shelf in the store for several weeks. And so, the problem is with allergies and asthma both, dairy is deadly. I will be telling you a few stories as we talk because we in medicine, we learn from, we called it grand rounds. We learn from case studies. We'll not be using names, but I will be talking. My husband, in this case, I'm going to use him. When I first went on the road as a visiting nurse, I stopped being a teacher and a counselor, and I lived close to home. I worked close to home. But when I went on the road, it changed our lifestyles. And so at the beginning, we had a little bit of a rocky start. We went backwards on our diet. And we saw that Pizza Hut was going to have a 4-square pizza. This is 8 or 9 years ago. My husband, who has asthma and allergies, and because he was in the Air Force, he's been exposed to a lot. And he is, so therefore, he's had allergy and asthma problems. And we control it. We've been controlling it with diet. So we decided when we saw this, we said, oh, let's go ahead and try that pizza. We've been eating good. We took our barley green, and let's go ahead and try the pizza. So I came home, and my husband was dancing around. He's all excited. We're going to get pizza. We're going to get pizza. So I came home from being on the road, which meant I didn't have to fix a meal because I'd been on the road all day as a visiting nurse. So we order our pizza. We eat our pizza, and it's from Pizza Hut. And I found out the cheese has got Basically, the cheese is made out of chemicals. And so, long story short, within 25 minutes, my husband began to have a full-blown asthma attack. And he had been feeling just fine. In fact, he was dancing around. And my husband, those of you that know him, his nickname is Dancing Dog. He loves to dance. And he just goofing around and being like a kid. And so, within 25 minutes, he had a full-blown asthma attack. He had to go and use his, what do you call these? It's a inhaler, which has drugs, and drugs are very strong and they make your heart race. After vent. He had to use this because when you have an asthma attack, those little sacs that are in your lungs, they tighten up and you can't get your air. It causes stress. It's very shaky. First time I ever saw him have an asthma attack, I was shocked because I'd never been around anybody that had asthma attacks. So then he takes 2 sprays. Well, then 20 minutes later, he's exhausted. So in less than an hour after eating the Pizza Hut pizza, he's in bed, and he's not real calm or happy because he's got that drug racing around and making his heart race. So we've seen in living color what food can do. And so it's very important that you decide right off the bat if you want to work with allergies and if you want to see some improvement, that's what you want to do. Now, I talk a lot about the chemicals on our helmet. This is just a thought, and I'm gonna keep this short tonight. I'm hoping to keep it at 30 minutes. Okay, we buy food. Now, I don't eat totally 100% organic. I can't find it all. But what I do then is I peel or wash very well the other vegetables, and then I buy as much organic as I can. And I think I've said my Walmart has lots of organic. And that's out here in the boonies. So I know those of you that live in cities will be able to find organic at a decent price. But here's the thing. When you eat right, you don't spend as much on drugs. You don't go to doctors as much. When you eat and exercise and drink water and breathe in fresh air, I haven't had to go to a doctor in years for an infection. Now, yes, I did go for some other things. I was trying to find out why I had some symptoms that I've been having, and I found out when I got to Missouri. And so anyway, we have chemicals on our food. We have chemicals in our makeup. We have chemicals in our shampoo. We wash our clothes in Tide, which is full of terrible things. We dry our clothes, dryer sheets. I'm going to put on my timeline the 12 reasons why to give up dryer sheets. Full of chemicals. In fact, they're saying they're carcinogen. Fabric softeners. Okay, so all these chemicals. Then we go out and maybe we lay in the grass and the grass has been sprayed with something, or we live by where there's pollution, like we did in Northwest Indiana. There were steel mills for a long time. And so then you're exposed to the bad air, bad food, our clothes are washed in chemicals. Our makeup, I gave up my Estee Lauder, which I never thought I would do because I looked up the ingredients and it has aluminum in it. And aluminum is one of the causes of Alzheimer's. I'm trying to eliminate all aluminum from my body. And so there's no way that we're going to be healthy if we don't make some lifestyle changes, if we don't make some food changes. Now, this is what I use for dryer sheets. This is a wool ball. Again, I'm not making any money. I may send this video to some of these people that I'm advertising, so maybe they'll do something for me. But these are called Woolsies. You got them on Amazon. You can buy it. It's like a tennis ball. It's made out of wool, 100% wool. And this is a essential oil drops. I ordered this 2 years ago, and you put the drops on the ball. And by the way, you get like 6 balls. So right now in my dryer, there are 3 wool balls, and I use the essential oils that we like. The smells the best. I do not like floral smells. Isn't that funny? But I like all food and all herbal smells. So I put these lavender drops on my ball, on these wool balls, and I put the wool balls in the dryer, and that's what keeps the static and takes care of it. Another way to take chemicals out for the people who have allergies and asthma. Asthmatics are very, very sensitive to chemicals, extremely. Dr. Cal Streeter taught me, Carol, the condition of the lungs depends on what's in the stomach. And boy, have we seen that. So 22 years ago, when I married my wonderful husband, he had a health history, and we both had a health history that we didn't know about each other. So I found out that he responded to wheat. He did not do well with wheat. He did not do well with any dairy. So I replaced those with gluten-free foods, and we love goat cheese. And there's 30 or 40 kinds of goat cheese. And we don't drink a lot of milk. We try to drink fresh vegetable juice and water. But I do use almond milk / cashew milk for cooking and baking and stuff like that. So we eliminated, 22 years ago, we eliminated that, and that just basically, my husband rarely has an asthma attack. Now, he can, because he's had a history, and because he's had damage to his body in other ways, he can react to real cold air, or he can react to dust. And so, but we are controlling, the other way we control it is with the essential oils. And shockingly enough, it's very easy to control the allergies with the oils. And I put this combination on the back of his neck. And I actually made up my own roller balls. I swore I wasn't going to do that. But when I got to Missouri 18 months ago, I determined I was going to learn how to use essential oils. You know, frankincense, which they brought to Jesus, is the king of oils. It treats cancer. It's amazing what the oils can do. And again, oils in the Bible, over and over, repeatedly. I just read about Melissa oil. There's oils are listed, spikenard, all the spices are listed in the Bible. And so I began learning it, started reading, and I think I read 4 or 5 very thick books about oils. Started calling people who I knew that knew things about the oils and learning about the oils. I would love to take a class. And then thank you, Mrs. Trieber. There she is. She's thanking me for doing these sessions. I have a bottle of a roller bottle, like a roll-on bottle. It has 10 drops of peppermint, 10 drops of lavender, and 10 drops of lemon, and diluted with coconut oil. I roll that on my husband's neck morning and night. He has done so well this spring, and that's how I'm between food and oils, and this is what we use to dry up if there is any secretions. It's called stinging nettle root. It's from Swanson's. By the way, if you go on Swanson's website, you can put me in as a person referral. They'll give me a discount. But I've been taking this for 20 years. Sure beats taking an Actifed. I remember one day I took an Actifed in church, 7 rows from the front. Brother Howes was preaching. I laid my head over on the end of the pew, and Miss Evans goes, sit up, sit up. I go, I can't. Actifed made me it just wiped me out, made me drunk. And that was the last time I ever took anything for sinuses. And by the way, sinus medication, even your